On June 30th, 2018, millions of players worldwide logged into Fortnite in a bid to witness the first ever true live event in the game's history, something that would go on to become something of a staple for the game. That was all the way back in Chapter 1 Season 4, and every subsequent season in Chapter 1 had a live event. They became something that was generally expected to happen each season. Starting in Chapter 2, suddenly it wasn't a guarantee that one would even happen at all, much to the dismay of the player base. Don't get me wrong, Epic often would fill the void by putting in various non-story related events like concerts and live screenings of certain shows, but I think we can all agree that nothing will come close to touching hyped up lore events with real game-changing dynamics. Here in Chapter 4, the only event we've had, if you can even call it that, was the 2023 New Year's event. At current tally, it's been roughly 230 days since the last event that was the Chapter 3 finale. That's way too infrequent and should be considered a crime for something that was once a vital, non-negotiable part of what made Fortnite so great. So, what happened? Why has Epic decided to essentially throw these major events onto the back burner? There are a number of contributing factors, I think, but first let's have a conversation about the last event from 230 plus days ago, Fracture. Back on December 3rd of 2022, we had what could easily be the most disappointing live event of all time, at least from a story perspective. What should be a 7 to 10 minute immersed experience quickly turned into a lengthy situation that involved running around and performing tedious tasks. I don't know about you, but I want quick action in live events, and I definitely don't want to be running around forever trying to accomplish monotonous objectives that ultimately just feels like a lot of labor and a lot of work. It seemed like action and excitement was missing from this event in a major way, and I definitely think they should use that to their advantage and learn from it. That's just my 2 cents though. This event in particular really did not follow the traditional blueprint of what made Fortnite live events so good, and I kind of think it's like the graphics. I thought the graphics from way back in the day were a part of what made Fortnite so great, but now the attention to detail is just crazy. Now, I'd like to share a quick message from the sponsor of today's video, Southern New Hampshire University. I first got into YouTube over a decade ago, being self-taught for quite some time. After high school, I went to college and got a degree in the marketing field, which I'm really proud of and has already paid off in a big way for me over the course of my professional career. SNHU has one of the largest accredited non-profit online degree offerings in the country. Today, I want to run you through their graphic design program. Graphic design is a huge part of my daily work. In fact, making video thumbnails is one of my favorite parts of the job. It's always thrilling when I get a chance to bring a creative vision to life. In this program at SNHU, you'll learn to design, develop, adapt, and present professional work using the latest tools and technologies like the Adobe Creative Suite, of which I am a user. You'll learn to work as a part of a team in a fast-paced environment and real-world settings with the common goal of solving creative challenges. With concentrations in 3D modeling and animation and web design, there are options that fit any creative dream. SNHU is also extremely affordable. Their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the entire nation. Go to snhu.edu/pineapples, also linked in my description, to see what the current average annual salary for a graphic designer is and request free information about the program. It only takes one click to find your calling. With Fortnite lasting as long as it has, up to 6 years and counting now, it's natural for the game to have ebbs and flows. Remember, the game is just like any business. Actions taken are typically mirrored by the boss man's financial decisions. Simply put, Epic focuses on what they think will bring in the most amount of revenue. That's the honest truth. There must be something, somewhere, in Epic's playbook suggesting that live events don't do much to offer monetary incentive to the company on a large enough scale. That's hard to believe though, because of just how many records Fortnite's events have claimed, like this one from 2020. Even though this one wasn't a storyline event, the Travis Scott concert pulled in 12.3 million concurrent players. The original Black Hole, back in Chapter 1, pulled over 7 million viewers across social media platforms. It's clear that when marketed and hyped up properly, millions upon millions of eyeballs will be fixated on the game. Surely, this increased traffic must lead to uptrending revenue for Epic. It's bizarre to me that the studio these days seems to let many seasons come and go without events. Even Donald Mustard has been extremely quiet on his normally vocal Twitter account over the last 3 or 4 months. I especially loved the events that had A-tier buildups. For example, Polar Peaks Iceberg, the Dusty Depot Meteor, and Galactus come to mind. Logging in each day to see these objects getting closer and closer to the map as the season's end grew close was amazing, and the hype was always just unmatched. Fortnite's events were successful originally because it was new, it was interesting, and it was fun. Fortnite was one of the first, if not the very first games to do large-scale events like this on a regular basis. They completely, whether you want to admit it or not, revolutionized the Battle Royale scene as more and more similar games would begin following a similar event blueprint. Perhaps over the years, since Fortnite has existed, a completely new player base has emerged. A player base that is not as keen into the storyline events in the same way that players 5 years ago were. I don't know, there's gotta be a logical explanation, but regardless, Fortnite desperately needs a return to normalcy on the event front as soon as possible, and I'm hoping that it starts at the end of this season.